Welcome to today's episode of Relationships Turned On. Today's episode is going to be short, sweet, practical, and hopefully very tangible for you to put in place. What fights are worth having and what fights are not worth having. Now, I know it seems like a really funny thing to say, but I promise you some fights are definitely not worth having. And there are some that are like really, really important that you should talk through, work through together as a couple. So let's get straight to it today. So fights worth having. So the fights that are about core needs, like about feeling seen, heard, appreciated, safe, these are conversations that we should definitely have because they're important to the relationship. They're a foundation to the relationship. Other fights that clarify boundaries are important to have. So you should sit down, you should talk about boundaries, you should talk about what lines get crossed for you, what lines that need to be protected for your relationship to thrive. So oftentimes there can be discomfort in these conversations, but they are ones you should definitely be having. Number 3 is ones about reoccurring patterns. So if something keeps coming up again, and you're thinking, why do we always end up here? I don't understand. Why do we always end up here? If something keeps coming up, it's not just what you're fighting about, it's about how you're doing it. So these conflicts are really invitations to break unhealthy cycles once and for all. And you should be talking about them and you should be working through them. 4, fights that challenge stagnancy. So what I mean by that is we're feeling stuck, we're feeling disconnected, we're going through the motions. Sometimes conflict is the fire that burns away on autopilot. So sometimes it's one of you or both of you really wanting to push and evolve the relationship and create deeper connection, deeper intimacy. They're good conversations that you really shouldn't avoid and you should definitely have with your partner. Lastly, number 5, fights that lead to repair and reconnection. So conversations, let me be clear, not all conversations or fights need to have repair. Sometimes the resolution is to be heard, but they should lead to reconnection. So even if you feel like it's not resolved, but you feel reconnected, that is a resolution within itself. Very important distinction. So if the fight helps you feel more known, understood, more together on the other side of it, it was probably worth having. That's how you know the difference between the two. Now, here's the fun part. Fights not worth having. All right, I see couples really drain the energy, bandwidth, perspective, all of the things on fights that are not worth having. They will go around and around and around on minute little details. It doesn't damn well matter. You're on the same team. Those little details are not important. So here are the guidelines of the fights you shouldn't bother having, to be honest. 1, fights about winning. When the goal is to be right or prove a point, not to understand each other, no one wins. It's a waste of time and energy. You are just fighting to the bottom. You make each other feel worse. There is no productive outcome here. It is not worth going into. It is a good one to hit pause on. Number 2, fights fueled by stress that has nothing to do with one another. I think we've all been in a situation, we come home from work, we're tired, we're stressed, we're annoyed, we're frustrated, we haven't had enough sleep, or we're in pain, or whatever it might be, and you're fighting. You don't really know what you're fighting about. You just picked any little thing. Now you're having this fight, and what's the end goal? The truth is you're both just too tired, too frustrated, or one of you is, and you should hit pause or say sorry and get back on track ASAP. Hey, I'm just letting you know that was really about work. I was letting off steam in the wrong place. It wasn't about you. It was about how stressed and frustrated I feel at work. And this is key. This is key to let each other know that. Do not go around and around in circles trying to solve it. You won't ever solve it because it's not between you two. It's all this other stuff that you're feeling on the individual, like individually. Number 3, fights about petty control. So who loads the dishwasher right, or how towels are folded, or if the tone is contempt or control. It's just the nitty gritty, tiny, minute details that people get wrapped around the axle around. And there's this saying, do you want to be married or right? You can't have both. Now, I don't mean that you can't be right, obviously, it's just a saying, but there are some things that are not worth the time and energy to fight over, like how the dishwasher's stacked or how something's folded or how we fold socks, or like life is too short. I can promise you when you're on your deathbed, you will not be looking back and going, I just wish those socks were folded differently. Or that dishwasher 20 years ago was stacked just how I liked it. Who cares? Like, let's be real. Who cares? If it's about petty control, sometimes that's an individual thing you really need to think of and go, maybe I need to release some control. Maybe I need to let go of some control here. The last one is fights you keep having without changing the approach. So you have the same argument 15 times with no new insight. You don't change the way you fight. You don't change the way you attack it. You don't change the angle. You just keep fighting and fighting and fighting. And you're not really reflecting on what's underneath this fight. You just keep doing the same thing again and again and again. If you're not going to change your approach, why is it worth doing it again? When you've done it 15 times already and it's not working. It's like banging your head against a brick wall and expecting a different result. Complete waste of time, let's be real. So here's something I want you to reflect on. Is this fight protecting or destroying our connection? I'm going to say it again. Is this fight protecting or destroying our connection? And if it's destroying your connection, then you need to go about it in a different way, or you need to put a pin in it until you feel better, or something must change. If on the other side of this discussion, you're going to feel more connected, you're going to feel more heard, seen, validated, all the things, then yes, it's a good conversation to have. You should be talking about it. Highly, highly, highly important. So I just wanted to do this really quick episode because I see it so often. I see the race to the bottom happen all the time. Who's tightest? Who's done more? Oh my gosh, you're a team partnership. It's not about who's tired. It's not about who's done more. You're both tired. You've both done a lot. It looks different. Sure. One of you might have had a longer day that day. So what? You want the best for your partner. You want your best for your family. So we don't keep score. We don't tally this. You're both doing a lot. And it's about finding empathy and understanding for each other. Your days are not going to look the same. Perhaps even the division of households not going to be 50-50. You're a team. As long as you're both being a team and you have that team mentality, that's what makes all the difference. So I really want you to think again, is this fight protecting or destroying our connection? And put all your disagreements, conversations through that lens. And if it's destroying it, you need to think of a different way in which you can approach these conversations, or maybe you don't need to have them at all. Now, thank you so much for listening. Please hit subscribe. We've got some great episodes coming up and I cannot wait to share them with you. I hope you have a wonderful day and I look forward to talking to you next time.